Do you ever walk into a room and suddenly forget why you came in there? Or maybe you're telling a story to your friends, and in the middle of it, the name of the place or even the person just vanishes from your mind. You laugh it off, but deep down, there's that quiet fear. What if this isn't just normal aging? What if these are early signs of something worse, something we all dread? Alzheimer's disease. For many of us over 50, these little slips of memory can feel like shadows creeping into our lives, whispering that time is catching up. It's a heavy thought. But what if I told you that one of the simplest, most ordinary foods we've known all our lives might actually hold some protection for our brains? I'm talking about eggs. Yes, the humble egg that so many of us grew up eating for breakfast could be more than just a source of protein. It might just be a secret ally in keeping our minds sharp and resilient as the years roll by. Let's dive into this together because this isn't just about nutrition, it's about hope, about empowerment, and about living with clarity well into our golden years. Now, when we talk about Alzheimer's, it's important to understand what it is. Alzheimer's disease is not just occasional forgetfulness. It's a progressive condition where the brain's ability to remember, reason, and even recognize loved ones starts to break down. And right now, millions of Americans over 65 are living with it. For families, it's one of the hardest journeys imaginable. That's why so many scientists are asking, can we do something through the way we live, the foods we eat, to slow down or reduce the risk? And that's where eggs come into the picture. You see, eggs are more than just a breakfast staple. They're packed with nutrients that play a direct role in brain health. One of the most important is choline. Choline is like fuel for your memory. It helps your brain create acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that allows nerve cells to talk to each other. Without enough choline, those connections can weaken. Research has shown that people who get more choline in their diet tend to perform better on memory and cognitive tests. And guess what? Eggs are one of the richest natural sources of choline you can find. In fact, a single large egg yolk contains about 147 milligrams of it. For older adults who often don't get enough choline, eating eggs could make a real difference. But choline isn't the only story here. Egg yolks are also rich in two powerful antioxidants called lutein and zeaxanthin. Most of us have heard of them in connection with eye health. They protect the retina and can help prevent age-related macular degeneration. But newer research suggests they also accumulate in the brain, especially in areas related to memory and learning. Think about that for a moment. Every time you crack an egg and enjoy that golden yolk, you're not just feeding your body, you might be nourishing your memory centers, reinforcing the scaffolding that helps you recall names, faces, and life's precious details. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but aren't eggs bad for cholesterol? Didn't my doctor tell me to avoid too many eggs? That used to be the fear. For years, eggs got an unfair reputation. But science has moved on. Large studies have now shown that for most people, moderate egg consumption does not increase the risk of heart disease. In fact, for older adults, the nutrients in eggs may outweigh any concerns about cholesterol. Of course, if you have specific health conditions, you should always follow your doctor's advice. But the blanket fear of eggs is outdated. Instead, what we're seeing is that eggs can be a smart, nutrient-dense food that supports not just muscle strength and vision, but brain health too. Let me share a story with you. My neighbor Jim, who's in his late 60s, used to joke that he had a Swiss cheese memory. He'd lose track of conversations or forget where he left his keys almost every day. His wife started encouraging him to change his breakfast. Instead of sugary cereal or toast, he began having 2 eggs most mornings, sometimes scrambled with vegetables, sometimes boiled. After a few months, he noticed that he felt more alert during the day. Was it only the eggs? Maybe not. He also started walking more and cutting back on processed foods. But he swears that the eggs gave him that mental edge, that feeling of steadiness in his thinking. His story isn't scientific proof, but it's a reflection of something many of us sense, that food truly can be medicine for the mind, and science supports that intuition. Studies have found that people with higher levels of choline in their blood tend to have lower levels of markers linked to dementia. Another study found that lutein levels in the brain correlated with better cognitive performance in older adults. These are not magic bullets. No single food can guarantee protection from Alzheimer's, but they are pieces of the puzzle. And when you put them together with other healthy habits, the picture becomes clearer. So, what does this mean for you and me? It means that adding eggs to your diet could be one simple, delicious way to strengthen your brain. And the good news is, eggs are versatile. You can have them scrambled, boiled, poached, baked into frittatas, or even as part of a hearty salad. The key is consistency. Nourishing your brain isn't about what you eat once in a while, it's about the habits you build day after day. Now, let's be realistic. Eggs alone are not a miracle cure. Alzheimer's is a complex disease influenced by many factors: genetics, lifestyle, environment. But while we can't control everything, we can control what we put on our plates. And that's empowering. If you've ever felt helpless in the face of memory loss, your own or a loved one's, know this: every healthy choice you make is a step toward resilience. Eggs are just one tool, but they're a powerful one. Some of you watching might already eat eggs regularly. If so, share in the comments how you like to prepare them. I'd love to hear your ideas, and others can learn from you too. And if you've been avoiding eggs out of old cholesterol fears, maybe it's time to have another conversation with your doctor, armed with the latest research. As we get older, we often worry about losing independence. For many, the greatest fear isn't about physical decline, but about losing our sense of self, our memories, our stories, our ability to recognize the people we love. That's why I believe so strongly that we need to talk about foods like eggs, not just as breakfast items, but as allies in the fight for our minds. Because every neuron we can protect, every memory we can preserve, is worth it. So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, instead of reaching for that muffin or that bowl of sugary cereal, try making yourself a couple of eggs. Maybe add spinach or tomatoes for extra antioxidants. Notice how you feel, not just physically, but mentally. Over time, those little choices add up. They create a foundation for a sharper, more resilient brain. And isn't that what we all want? To keep being ourselves, fully present, fully alive for as long as we can. If you found this message meaningful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share this video with a friend. You never know who might need this encouragement today, and leave me a comment below. What's your favorite way to enjoy eggs? Do you feel a difference in your energy or memory when you include them in your diet? Your story might inspire someone else. As we close, I want you to remember this: Alzheimer's is not destiny. Yes, it's a frightening disease, but it is not inevitable for everyone. The choices we make today, what we eat, how we move, how we engage our minds, can all stack the odds in our favor. Eggs, with their rich store of choline, lutein, and other nutrients, are one of the simplest choices we can make. And every time you choose to nourish your brain, you're choosing to fight back, to reclaim a sense of control over your future. So the next time you crack open an egg, see it as more than breakfast. See it as an act of hope, a small but powerful step in protecting the most precious thing you own, your mind. Keep feeding your brain, keep moving your body, keep challenging yourself to grow. Because life after FUMPTY isn't about fading away, it's about thriving, about living with strength, clarity, and joy. And yes, even something as simple as an egg can be part of that story.